on.
My name is Nick. I'm a full-time trader and entrepreneur. We put out tons of stuff for free for traders.
These are real trades. This is real money. I'm putting my money on the line.
This is going to be a live trading video. Here, locking in over $1,000 on this trade.
Wow, I'd love to get in on this.
Technical insights that really look good to me.
Here we go. We're live.
Well, hello traders. Welcome back to the channel. Let me just make sure that audio is all good. Yesterday we had a little bit of issues with audio, but it seems like we are good. How are you guys doing? Welcome back to another live stream. Shout out to those of you guys who are hanging out with me here live. Let me move this up here so I can read you guys' chat a little bit better. Happy Thursday to you. Thank you for being here. We've got people in the chat from all over the world, I am sure. So appreciate you showing back up again. You guys who are the regular stream viewers, you guys are the real MVP for real, because you guys are here each day right as we start the stream, going through charts with me and markets and stuff going on. I wanted to start really quick here with what's going on in the world of news for the currency market. We had some big surprising numbers from the US. And Now we've got to think about some things here. Let's go through this together, you guys. So the dollar is strong this morning. As you saw in the title of the stream today, the dollar is shooting up really, really strong today. So what is that all about? What's the play? Are we bullish on the dollar now? Is it time to buy the dollar? Where are we at with it? Well, before I jump into all of that, let me just take one moment to say a special thank you to our new sponsor. Oh, where did the camera quality go there? Let's try this again. There we go. So we do have a new sponsor. You can see it up in the top there. Trader Central is sponsoring our streams, and we are super excited about it. So as you guys know, everything that goes into making these streams, the lights, the cameras, the computers, everything that goes into this, they cost money. YouTube does help with that in terms of ad revenue, but it does not cover everything. And so we do have sponsors that help us run what we do here. And Trader Central reached out. They liked what we do here. They thought, hey, we're partnered with you guys. Trader Central is a funding program. So you guys may have heard of the different options out there for funding programs. There's a lot of different companies in the space, but Trader Central definitely stood out to us. We really liked what they had to offer, and we decided to partner up with them. So actually, Trader Central is linked down below in the description. If you have never heard of them, they're an interesting group. I definitely encourage you to check them out. There's a link down below in the description. Should be the third link down there if you would like to take a look at them. There are some perks to joining up with that link, so check it out if you would like to. If you are not sure what I mean by funding programs allow traders who don't have a lot of money to, if they have the skills, get funded and then trade a larger amount of money on the behalf of the firm that they are working with. In this case, that could be Trader Central. So again, very excited about the new sponsorship. Sponsorships mean that we can continue to do this stuff and actually, be able to pay all the people that go into this. There's, although, these streams are a lot of fun for me, they are also a lot of work, and it's a, it's a job. So I'm very excited and thankful to Trader Central for sponsoring the content. And again, I want you guys to, when you have a second, check them out. If you're interested in funding programs, at least add them to your consideration list. And I think that you will be pleasantly surprised. There's a link down below in the description, so check them out when you get a chance. Okay, so today, back to the current events. The dollar is shooting up. We have a strong dollar bullish move going on the 4-hour chart. You can see 3 strong, solid green candles. And part of me wonders, actually, what's the 1-hour chart? Look at that. Even more bullishness on the 1-hour chart. So part of me wonders, the news around the dollar came out 8:30. So in this candle here, right? And what you'll notice is that the dollar was trailing higher before the actual news. And that's kind of extra interesting. Perhaps somebody knew something a little bit before the actual pop there. I don't know. I'm not here to accuse anybody of anything, but it does look like maybe there was a little bit of that going into the USD news this morning. So we had retail sales numbers. Retail sales, in case you are not familiar, it's the change in the total value of sales at the retail level. Are people going out and buying stuff? Are they spending their money? Because usually in an economy that is healthy, we do see a lot of spending. Well, today we had a forecast for retail sales to come out at negative 0.7%. And we had a whopping miss there in a good way, with much more retail sales than expected, 0.7% here in the US. What does that show us? Well, it could clue us into the idea that, hey, the US economy is doing better than expected, right? There's a lot of spending going on. And then in core retail sales, which is another measurement that excludes certain, the retail sales, I'm getting all mixed up. The core retail sales is a little bit different because the core retail sales excludes automobiles, which, of course, is going to be a large portion of the sales going on. So this is another look at it. And what you'll see is that in both cases here, the retail sales numbers that came out were much better than the expected values. The reason that matters is because, again, that tells us that, hey, there was a forecast for not a lot of consumer spending here. And in actuality, we had quite a bit. So the reason that I point this out is because now we do see the dollar is pumping higher this morning. Now, many of you guys who have been watching the streams know that I have been dollar bearish. In fact, I had a GBP USD trade, another one actually, for those of you guys who have been watching the channel closely, I took a pound dollar trade to the long side, made some good money actually during this time. Because remember, if I'm going long on GU, and the dollar is going down, that's actually good for my position. But now, just this morning, I took a break-even trade because what happened in this case is now we see in this latest price action, we see the opposite. We see the dollar strengthening and the pound falling a little bit. So we'll perhaps talk a little bit about that as we get going into the stream here, but I did want to start with the dollar. So the dollar is the strong currency of the day, or at least what it seems like. Is the Japanese yen moving today? The Japanese yen is falling a little bit today. So that is interesting as well. So back to the DXY for a moment. So DXY, let's start with the technicals here. Let's talk a little bit about the technicals. So we do have resistance here that does look like it wants to completely get obliterated by today's buy city. Those are some strong green candles. What that could tell us is that the dollar may end out the week on a good note. We may see a strong end of the week for the dollar. So I am not in a rush to go short the dollar at this point. Anytime I trade the dollar, I keep in mind what the DXY is doing. So again, we're looking at DXY here. We're looking at the US dollar on the 4-hour chart. And we see that there is some strength really coming into this market. We held the lows here, held support very, very nicely. And then today, with that core retail sales and retail sales numbers coming out as better than expected, we are seeing the follow through. We're seeing price push past. So is it time to go buy the dollar, or is it time to sell the dollar? Well, for me right now, there's nothing to do. I am dollar bearish still at this point, but I can't justify selling it just because it's up. I have to find a spot that makes a lot of sense for me to sell it. So we've pointed out, I do like this level of resistance as well. And I want to show you one more thing. What if we draw a fib from the swing high of this move to the recent sell-off that we've had? And look at this, you guys. Things look really interesting at that 61.8% retracement. Very actually beautiful price action there. So the point here is we drew from the top here to the bottom here. And let's make some notes for those of you guys who are trading the dollar with me. And by the way, sometimes I get the comment, oh, Nick, I don't trade USD pairs. But the thing is, and then they'll say like, I only trade gold. But if you trade gold, for example, gold, if you guys ask yourself this, do you trade gold? If you said yes to that, then you probably should know a good bit about the dollar, because the dollar and gold are like battling brothers, right? They butt heads on things and try and decide who's going to win all the time. So if you trade gold, pay attention, because the dollar is very interesting and important to pay attention to if you are going to be trading gold. So we had a lot of sell pressure on the dollar. Okay, the dollar was just sell city for a little while. Part of the reason was we had some dovish comments from Jerome Powell. Basically, the summary, the first real sell-off that we saw here was was dovish in the sense that, okay, he said basically, yeah, we'll start to look to taper. However, rate hikes are nowhere near where we want to be, right? So that was a super dovish comment on the dollar. That caused the dollar to sell off. Then we had more bad news. Jobs were not so good in the month of August. Jobs were bad. Both of those factors caused the dollar to be in just a sell mode. Now we saw the retracement. We're seeing the retracement, right? Prices coming up. And we had some numbers. Retail was up. Retail sales were up. That's causing the dollar to push higher. So I would say personally, when I look at the dollar and I look at everything going on, yes, there's a really strong recovery. A lot of places are recovering strongly. But my opinion is that the dollar is sort of lagging overall. You have other places that are doing a bit better. So for me, looking at the dollar, I am going to favor more of this. So I'm going to view, okay, this is a big dovish move, right? A big sell-off on the dollar. This to me is, until I am proven wrong, which, to be completely fair, I can be wrong. This to me is more of a pullback play, right? So I would say that the big trend is to the downside. We're seeing the retracement here. And if price comes up to this 61.8, I like that at the potential, at a potential sell level. So I know this is a long drawn out analysis of the dollar today, but it's really important because when you get big price action moves like this, everyone sort of wonders what's going to happen next to the dollar. Are we going higher? Are we selling off? And in my opinion, it is my opinion, I do think that the 61.8 looks pretty interesting for some possible sells. So with that out of the way, now that we've talked all about the dollar, my opinions on it fundamentally and technically, let's now go take a look at some of the individual currency pairs that may be of interest today. Maybe not for me, maybe for you, maybe for me, maybe not for you. Make your own decisions. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your money. Please remember, this is not financial advice. I have to say that. And I do truly mean it. You guys need to, if you're out there and you really want to be a trader, do not, quick note, don't be that guy that's chasing signals all the time, right? You're looking for someone else to tell you what to do, because that is a really losing approach in the markets. I have videos on that subject. If you need more help with that idea, you're like, well, why not? Why can't I just copy someone else? Copying sounds really good on paper, but in all actuality, it's very difficult to actually effectively copy someone nonetheless. But also, when you copy people, you have no understanding of risk management. You have no understanding of why they're doing what they're doing. So when they experience a drawdown, you freak out. You don't know what's going on. And then also, when you feel good, when making good trades, let's say, for example, that people, were copying some trader and the trader said, hey, short it there, and everyone shorted and it looked great, right? And it worked out perfectly. All these people who saw this person make that trade, next time he sets up a trade, they're all going to say, oh my gosh, he's always right. So I'm going to go buy it with him next time. And let's say the next time it does nowhere near as good as he was looking to do. Now everyone who over leveraged blows their account, right? So the point is, copying when you're a noob trader is no good because you don't know what you're doing. You can't even properly copy effectively. You have to learn this stuff, ins and outs, by yourself if you're really going to be profitable. In my personal opinion and experience, I think that copying is quite a bad approach. Okay, look at the euro, you guys. Look at the euro today. The euro may be giving us a good pullback here. If you're a euro bull, today looks like an interesting spot because we are seeing a price pullback to the 61.8% retracement. We also see that this thing, had a really good run here. You had a big impulsive move to the upside there on the euro. We did fall out of favor. You see that trend line sort of, piece together some sell side bias. But my opinion for the euro, which never quite happened, I was looking to see if the euro could break out. So let me what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this trend line. Paste it in again. I have a question. Let's see. You guys let me know. Should I keep thinner trend lines? Do you guys like the thinner trend lines? I think I need it a little bit thinner. Sorry, I just want to get that right. There we go. Yeah, a little bit thinner. So I was looking at the euro and I really liked this thing to the long side, but I pointed out, at the beginning of this week, actually on the Sunday video, some of you guys may have seen it. I pointed out that looking at the euro, I was really most interested if we could get some form of a breakout of this sort of consolidation or downward channel. So we had a big impulsive move, right? There's your impulse, and a big corrective move. And now this corrective move is becoming sort of the lower limits of where I'd like to see it personally. From a technical analysis perspective, I don't really want to see it go much more down than just to the 61.8% retracement. That is how I personally approach, a trend, is I like to see it at least hold at the 61.8. If price breaks underneath here, the euro could be in for a little bit more pain back down to the lows. So setting all that up, if you're a euro bull, there's probably some reasonable risk to reward somewhere around this area, right? As an example, we could say under price action there, if you were looking at this, I mean, in that case, if the euro was to rally all the way back to the top, you're looking at 4.25, even 4.5 to 1, just barely misses 4.5 to 1. So that's a pretty good risk to reward there. I think that the euro, and I'm not saying that this is going to happen. I'm just saying, in terms of a risk to reward, if you are bullish on this trend, if this trend survives, right, and if we're defining that by a 61.8% hold, right, there's some decent risk to reward. But the point that I was making is that I really liked the euro USD if it could break out of this channel. We did not quite see that. So I haven't taken any trades on this thing recently, but I am looking and I would like to see if it can try and hold this level. Honestly, this is not the worst level. I actually really think that this has a pretty good confluence level, because let's think about this. For example, you've got support, you've got the 61.8, right? You've got the lower limits of this channel, and you've got a nice sort of trending market overall. I think that that's reasonable. I think that that's a, not the worst idea ever. Now, please remember, this is not, like I said, it's not financial advice. I'm not telling you to go take this trade, but I personally think that the euro looks like an interesting level here. I would possibly consider buying it myself. So I will be looking at the euro today. There are also some other ones that I want to look at. Of course, if I take any trades, you guys will see them inside of the Discord. I shared a trade that went to break even. So I did go long on the pound again. So there's the trade that I took yesterday, or was it yesterday? 2 days ago. I took a pound dollar long 2 days ago. I do have this video filmed, so this is going to be up on YouTube at some point. People seem to really like the live trading videos, so I'm going to be trading and sharing my trades more often. But I did go long, very, very nice little price action there. So price pulled back. I ended up getting long. Price did go in my favor. We can actually just look at the chart. But I fundamentally really liked the pound. They had positive CPI numbers. Things looked really good for the pound. So I do still like the pound quite a bit. It's actually at the top of my list right now for markets that I'm interested in. Shared that trade, moved my stop to break even. I'm sure that there are people who played it better than me, meaning they probably took some profit, caught some of the move. You guys who have been watching my channel for a while, I like to use trailing stops. I like to, hold on to my winners as much as I can. But other people who, use a take profit in this case, or a partial profit, they probably played this market a little bit better than me. We'll take a look at pound dollar next. But again, if I take any trades, all of my trades are shared on Discord. If you're not in the Discord and you would like to join, there's a link down below in the description to sign up on our website. So within the Discord, you get access to our chat rooms. You can chat with other traders from around the world. We've got quite a few members, and we've also got quite a few analysts who we have hired around the world to help contribute to this community. So you can see my trades, Frank's trades, Patrick's trades. We put out research each week. We also have webinars that are going up. So we have a guy from Australia. He's a very experienced trader. Some of you guys may know him. His name is Joe Barreca. He's from Australia, really great guy. He's had his own content up on YouTube and stuff like that, and he decided to join our community because he really liked it. So he does coaching webinars for our members, so you can ask questions there. We also have an educational section, so if you are looking to brush up some of your skills or you want to look through some of our strategies, my strategy and other people's strategies have been posted up there to sort of give you an insight into what a strategy looks like. then yeah. So anyways, if you have any interest in joining the Discord, the link is down below in the description. I believe Dave just shared info about it as well. Just head down to the description. You can find info there. So yeah, Euro USD looking very interesting. I think that the dollar here might be a little bit overhyped, but again, waiting to see how price action plays out on lower time frames and whether or not we can get a bit more. I'm just looking for a little bit more push to the upside on the dollar before I look to possibly short it. So next up is pound dollar. So again, this is the trade that I took. I ended up going long on the pound. So here's where I got long. I got long on the pound somewhere around here. Price went up. I moved my stop to break even. And actually, I'm glad that I did, because look at this. So what ended up happening is price came all the way back down, tagged me for break even, and actually kept going. So at least I was in hindsight here, I did okay by stopping out for break even. So I'm happy with that. But anyways, where are we at with the pound now? I do like the pound long. I'm still long biased on this thing, but I don't love that we just put in a lower high there. That is sort of, from a technical analysis perspective, a little bit concerning. Let me see what I can do. So I liked this trend line. That was actually part of the reason that I got long. So I liked that pullback to the trend line, jumped in there at support. But again, we're seeing a little bit of a sell-off there on the old, little bit of sell-off at the old trend line there today. So we will see. Look at this, Ivan with the, Ivan, you're a funny guy. Ivan, you should put your trend lines at 0 pixels. Okay, let's try it. Let's see how it looks. You guys ready? Wait, what am I doing? Okay. Oh, you can't even do that. I tried, Ivan. I tried to do it for you. Another way to do it at 0 pixels would just be to delete it, right? We can obviously see that Ivan doesn't like trend lines. Hey, let's do a real quick poll. Do you guys like trend lines? Do you use trend lines, or do you dislike them? Just say yes or no. Do you use them? Drop it in the chat. Let's see what you guys think about trend lines. Trend lines are sort of a hot topic. They're a controversial topic nonetheless, but let me know. Drop your comments. Yes or no. Do you use them? Do you like them? What do you think? I love them. Yes, no. Yes, Brandon, what the heck is that? Yes and no? That's not an answer. Yes, but only for direction. Okay. I love them. Okay, thanks, guys. Yeah, I was just curious because trend lines are actually really controversial. Some people love them, some people hate them. Because let's be completely honest, I could draw this trend line many different ways. And I've talked about this in videos. I have a video about this that I did. You can draw trend lines many different ways, and that could be really controversial. Because in one case, this thing looks like it's broken out. In another case, it looks like it's coming to support. So why do I use them? Well, I don't use them as like a magical entry and exit filter. In fact, like trend lines for me are a very loose application. And I've told this story before, but when I first sort of got into trading, I had some guy. I've told the story on my YouTube. Some of you guys may have heard me talk about this, but I had someone who was like a big YouTuber. I'm not going to name names because I ain't about that life, but they sent me a DM and they literally saw like some analysis where I had drawn a trend line, and they were like, they basically bashed me. They were like, yo, you have no idea how to draw trend lines, this, and that. And then they actually dropped in there. Check this out. They dropped some shade on my name, guys, because what they said, and the joke's on them because now I'm way bigger on YouTube than them. Anyways, what they said is I have more students in my academy or whatever you call it than you have followers on Instagram. And I was like, back then that actually kind of was like just mean, but I was like, yeah. So anyways, joke's on them. We're not going to name hates or bash, but I don't think that, you know, their all-knowing trend line abilities really got them too far. Because they were like, so I had posted a picture, like say for example, that I posted this picture and I said, I posted on Instagram. I said, hey, back when I had an Instagram before it got disabled by scammers. That's a whole nother story. I'm a really interesting guy, you guys. I promise I am. There's so much going on. No, but so I posted a picture like this, right? So I said, hey, this trend line here looks like it may have broken and we may see some downside. It was a picture, something like that. It was a trend line break. And this guy literally, who has a good following, came at me and said, Nick, no wonder you like don't have any followers. You don't know how to draw trend lines. They were like, you should draw it like this, you dummy. And they literally were like, not nice. It was like rude messages. And I was like, chill, it's just a trend line. And so then literally I was like, I mean, it's sort of subjective. There's different ways to draw it. That was like my reaction. And they literally said, no, there's a right way to draw them. Like, this is why I have more paid students than you have followers on Instagram. And I just remember being like, oh my God, you are a jerk. And then they blocked me. So that's literally, I responded. I was like, dude, doesn't that seem like a little harsh? Something like that. And they literally blocked me. They're like, whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh. So anyways, a little drama for your day. We're not here name bashing or name dropping, but you'd be surprised, man. Some of these people out there, they come across nice and they are not nice. Anyways, let's keep going. I do like the pound long, but I'm going to look for some price action to show me that. Sometimes it's good to hate back. It's good for the soul. I would disagree. I would really disagree. I think that there's a joy in just being like, okay, you're not nice. I'm just going to move on and do me. I think that that's more rewarding personally. Cause then when there's like this part of you that's like, if I'm the bigger person, right? If somebody's throwing shade at me, and you guys may have experienced this. If you just say like, hey, that's not cool. You're not being nice. I'm going to move on. That's like one of the biggest like ways to mess with somebody ever. Cause then they're like, shoot, he's not even coming back at me. And now I just look like a jerk. I don't know. We're ranting today. Let's talk about the dollar yen. Nice on camera, someone else in person. It's true. It's really kind of scary. I'm a nice person all the time. I swear. Every single day, I'm an angel. I'm not. No one is, right? Dollar yen. I like dollar yen if it can break out. But the thing here, look at this. So even me, I just drew this up really quickly. None of this actually would be an entry for me. The reason here is, let me show you this. So dollar yen, we've been talking about dollar yen with some bigger term context, right? Looking at levels like this, 109.2, this level, and then the level that we pointed out yesterday as well, which was 110.3. Both of these levels are like binding dollar yen back and forth, right? So when you look at this as a trend trader, you just look across the screen. We haven't gone anywhere for a while. As a trend trader, for me, I would really like to see a significant break one way or the other, right? So a break underneath 109.2, something to show, clear seller dominance, or if something really comes out positive for the dollar, clear bullish presence, just because I don't like to mess around with these sort of ranges as a trend trader. Now, if you're a range trader, if you're a back and forth support and resistance trader, you may seriously consider looking at the dollar yen a little bit closer, right? This might be a great time for you to trade it. But for me and my style, this is not like one that I'm going to spend a lot of time focusing on. So, Hey Julie, how true is that? That's a good question for her. She has seen the goods and the bads of my my goods and bads, just like everyone else. Everyone has their goods and their bad moments, right? I want to talk about dollar CAD. What's the CAD doing today? So this is interesting. Is the Canadian dollar strong today? I mean, obviously it's weaker than the dollar, but I just want to see this. It's weaker than the dollar, but the CAD seems like it might be strong. Okay, so it's reasonably strong. So the number one currency of the day is the dollar, right? The number two does seem like it might be the CAD. Yeah, seems like the CAD is actually fairly strong today as well. So that's interesting. Yeah, this is the currency heat map, by the way, that is posted up on our website. You guys can use this anytime you would like. All you do is head over to a1trading.com. And so let me just show you this. Head over to a1trading.com. We've got a bunch of free stuff here for you. You can, oh, look at that. We got the free trade ideas as well. Hey, that's cool. So Julie built this, you guys. And look at this. Look at this handsome guy. This is Frank, good friend of mine, and also one of our analysts inside of the group. So yeah, enter your email if you want free trade ideas. We're putting together our newsletter. And if you'd like access to that, you just go to the front page and it'll pop up and you can just enter your email, which is really convenient. Good job, Julie. So anyways, I went to the currency heat map. You just head over to the front page, a1trading.com. We got a bunch of free tools here for you. I went to the currency heat map because I wanted to see what's moving today. And you'll notice that the dollar is very strong, right? The dollar is strong across the board. If you're a day trader, that might be helpful to you. I personally use it from a swing trading perspective, but I'm sure it's very useful to the day traders as well. So again, use that anytime you would like. So dollar CAD, the reason I pointed that out is that the CAD is actually kind of strong today. That's why we're not seeing, dollar CAD rocket higher. So if you, for example, were long in the dollar and you're like, hey, a lot of the other dollar pairs are moving really strong, the dollar CAD is not moving so strong because the Canadian dollar seems to be strong as well. And in fact, one thing I'd like to point out here is that you do sort of have this this wedge formation, or at least just a triangle formation here on dollar CAD. So with all that said, I think that, of course, there will be a winner. There will be a stronger candidate overall between the dollar and the CAD, but it really seems like the market is still trying to make up its mind. Because look at this. Look at these big red bars followed by big green bars, red bars, green bars. You don't have like a strong absolute winner when looking at the dollar CAD. But if we get some breakout with some news, if you're a swing trader, there may be some opportunities either direction. Obviously, it has to go one way or the other. And as this thing sort of tightens, as you get, sellers up here and buyers continuing to bid this up, there will be a cracking point for this, right? It will either break out up or it will break out down. And when you see volatility start to shrink like this, the tighter this thing gets, the idea is the bigger breakout could come, right? So I don't know when that's going to come and I don't know which way it's going to go. But I know that as a trader, I could potentially profit from that. I could look for moves either direction. I am still really interested in this currency pair. I don't have a really solid, opinion as to which way this thing goes short term, but I do ultimately like the Canadian dollar over the dollar. So what that would mean is I'm looking for sells. I'm looking for opportunities like this. Maybe we could get a push back down. I pointed out, we had sort of this blow off top on the dollar CAD. You had this major move up followed by equally strong sellers, then some trailing overall, and now just some consolidation. So I'm really interested when looking at this. I do think that we may have seen a lower high, and that possibly if the dollar gets weak again, we could see dollar CAD back down to 1.25. That's a reasonable level that I think could be paid attention to. We also note that that's a pretty key level of support here, right? So you got 1.25 as a possible longer term target, especially if the Bank of Canada continues to stay on course with that tightening monetary policy. They've talked about wanting to raise rates and be ahead of the US in terms of monetary policy. If that continues to play out and stays true, I think that the dollar CAD may be due to head back down to 1.25 and maybe even further. So I'll be looking for some trend trading setups, some breakouts, retests, things like that. But as we stand, dollar CAD quite choppy until further notice. I'm going to just sit on my hands and wait for this one. But again, I'm looking at this with a bias to the sell side. So we will move on. Let's take a look at Aussie Dollar. So Aussie Dollar selling off pretty hard today. For those of you guys who have been watching it, if you've been bullish on this thing, and you saw this major uptrend. Remember, we talked about this on the live stream a couple different times. Chasing is a really bad habit, right? A lot of traders, when they first get into trading, they look at something like this as it's going up and they say, oh my gosh, I gotta buy it. I'm missing the train if I don't buy it, right? And this is sometimes what, the market will teach you this lesson more often than not. If you chase when this pullback happens, which is a completely normal pullback, if you chased and you bought up here, you're sitting in so much pain if you didn't stop out. Because a lot of traders, they chase with no stop loss. And then when it reverses really hard, they're sitting there just in so much pain. So when we look at Aussie dollar, this is a completely normal pullback. Again, for me, I defined a normal pullback range as anything that stays relatively above that 61.8. So we are entering into pullback zones that are completely healthy and normal on the bigger picture. So if you're a bull on the Aussie, it's not all over. It could, if we crash back down, things could change for the bigger picture. But until further notice, we still have plenty of room for this thing to find buyers, and to completely normal, healthy moves up could still be in play. I like the 50% level. That looks like a reasonable pullback area. Lines up nicely with where we launched off of last time. So you can see price did a really big flag pull and then shot up, right? So I do like that area as a possible confluence zone of support. So if you like the Aussie, maybe one to look at. It's not my favorite. I prefer the NZD USD, which is actually what we'll look at next. I like NZD USD a bit more. Their monetary policy looks a bit more hawkish to me, and that's one thing that I look very closely at whenever I take a trade on a currency pair. Is I like to see currencies that have a strong central bank monetary policy going forward. So Aussie dollar, though, technical analysis looks really interesting. So you may have an interest in that one, so keep an eye on that for sure. Jason says, hey, Nick, I'm in an Aussie NZD short and noticed that the NZD seemed to momentarily weaken on the USD news this morning. Could you theorize why this may have occurred from a fundamental standpoint? You know what? Let's see. Let's go look at Aussie NZD. It doesn't look like it did much, to be honest with you, unless you're looking at a very short time frame. Well, I guess it did. You got a little bit of a spike there. So yeah, I see that. What is that? A move of 10 pips or so. It's small, but there's something there. It may be that a move into the dollar. It's kind of like when you look at currency pairs, right? The NZD, I would say, is higher on the scale of risk on than the AUD. The AUD is still on the scale for risk on. So you have actually two currencies here that are sort of loosely defined as risk on currencies. So when you have the USD strengthen, which is a bit more on the risk off side of it, it may also cause the Aussie to be a little bit stronger than NZD. That's a loose definition. But so what we'll notice here, look at this. So you had this really big movement. Let's see if I can go to the daily chart. So during 2020, for example, this thing kind of went all over the place. But during the initial fear situation, we saw the Aussie come crashing down really hard. Then the Aussie got really strong over the Kiwi dollar because the Kiwi dollar is a little bit more volatile, a little bit less predictable, but it keeps going back and forth. One thing people really like Aussie NZD, this currency pair specifically, is that it doesn't have a super strong correlation to a lot of other markets. Because it's two risk on currencies, a lot of people really like this currency pair for that reason. So I can't give you like a really easy definition because it's not like it moved a tremendous amount compared to the dollar, but there may have just been a general push into the Australian dollar with some correlation to the dollar there today. So not a super easy answer. I can't give you like it did this because this, but there's a loosely defined one. I do like Aussie dollar against the NZD a little bit to the downside more. I do prefer the Kiwi dollar, like I just mentioned. So looking at NZD USD, you can actually see it's taking on some serious heat today. That may just be a response to a big push into the dollar and favoring the dollar over this sort of higher risk currency, that NZD. So we are seeing, when looking at the Kiwi dollar, lower highs after lower highs after lower highs. So very, very interesting to see this one coming down hard today. Is there a pullback play? Let's see. You know, so Kiwi Dollar hasn't gotten anywhere near its 50% retracement. And or sorry, it's 38.2% even. So I would say that this consolidation zone does look like it could be headed back down for a deeper retracement. So for me, looking at Kiwi Dollar, I really would only start to get interested at those levels, 50%, 38.2%. So although I do want to be a buyer of this thing, I've got to see a bit more retracement. Stocks are going down. Actually, that's a great point. That may tell us a little bit of, oh, well, they're not moving too much. They're moving a little bit, moving down a little bit. The Kiwi Dollar here, though, is really selling off. So that may just be a general push into risk off, right? People are preferring the dollar over the Kiwi. And again, that's also just in response to the strong news that we had from the dollar as well today. So the dollar is just gaining a little bit of traction. It's gaining a little bit of interest today. Will that last? Possibly. We do have support here that keeps holding. So you may be, watching this zone. But for me, I'm looking for a little bit more of a retracement to really get interested in a long setup on the Kiwi Dollar. So we'll see. Australian unemployment numbers were better than expected, 4.5 than the expected 4.9. Oh, that's interesting as well. I didn't know that. That wasn't this morning because it's a different time zone for them right now. So yeah, that also might be another thing too. You just have a sort of a push into the Aussie right now because of the sort of strengthening numbers. But again, I still prefer the Kiwi Dollar, especially with the RBA, which is the Bank of Australia. They've been sort of dovish recently. They've been pretty hesitant to talk about raising rates and things like that. So for me, I'm pretty paused on my bullish thesis there on Aussie for now. Let's take a look at gold. Gold here also really coming down. Look at that sell-off, you guys. Down up into the 1750s today. Gold is making its move big time. There is some volatility. The call has been answered. We talked about this the other day. We pointed out a breakout either ways could be a substantial move. Gold looks like it may be due for a little bit more pain here. I could be wrong about that, but the dollar coming in so strong today, if the dollar wants to make a rally for the end of the week kind of thing, you may see gold make a push down to some levels of deeper support. I mean, there's really nothing here that's really pushing up gold in terms of a price action standpoint. And in terms of fundamentals today, with that dollar coming out real strong, gold may have a tough day. Now, of course, things have been so volatile recently. This thing could be back up by the end of the day. But for me, this, for a price action standpoint, looks really bearish, right? You had big sellers come in 3 times, actually really 4 times, and push price off that 1830. They took that as an opportunity to sell or take profit if they were long. And now we're seeing a lower high and follow through, breaking out of key support. You guys, I think that that's a bearish price action move for gold. I think that thing has more downside to come. Catherine, at what time do you start trading, Nick? I'm a swing trader. So I am taking trades right now. I'm taking trades in the afternoon. I'm not taking like 5 times a day. Like I usually average maybe 2 or 3 trades a week. So that may not be very exciting to some of the traders out there, but I don't take a trade, constantly, and I usually don't execute trades, just because I'm seeing something right then and there. I'll usually go take time to go review it. One of the things I love about swing trading is that I have, time to go review the trades and make a plan and set it up, etc. If I take trades, I do share them inside of our Discord. I've mentioned this before as well. So all the trades that I take, I call them out, I share them in Discord. So you can see I took a trade yesterday, the 14th, which is 2 days ago. I shared this trade on the pound dollar. I have some trades after this stream that I do plan on entering and taking myself. So with that said, all the trades that I share, I put them in the Discord. So if you're in the Discord, great. You'll probably see me take a trade today. I have a couple things on my mind. And then, of course, if you are not and you would like to join us, there's a link down below in the description. So click that and check it out. Look at that. Gold still just really ripping. Let's look at the 15-minute chart just for fun. Oh my goodness, you guys. Look at that regimented selling on the gold market. I mean, look at that. That's insane. That's several candles. What is that? What would you say? 60 candles or so? Let's actually see how many candles that is, because I want to see if I was right about that. So here to here, how many candles was that? 45. Okay, so I was off by 15. But anyways, 45 candles. Most of them are just red. Bleeding out today. Gold is coming down hard. Looks like it wants to at least tag 1750. So maybe that's a psychological level to keep in mind if you're looking at this thing. But for me, this is something I'm not touching. I would not buy this thing right now. It does not have any sort of clear levels of support. I guess you could loosely argue that you have a little bit here down at 1745 or so, but that move on gold is aggressive, you guys. That is a serious sell-off coming in today on the gold market. And yeah, that looks pretty bearish to me. We could be headed back down to 1740. We could even see a retest of structure down there at 30. But yeah, I just think that when gold makes a move like this, it can be a lot more aggressive than you think. Like, look at this. For example, to put it in perspective, we're about here on the previous move. It did a whole double distance, right? So for example, to put that into context, that would be like saying if price were to double this move, we could see a move down to something like 16. That's basically back down to the lows. Is it going to happen? We'll have to wait and see. But this is not something I'm buying right now. I'd have to see some form of support, something form to show me that this is not just going to drop through the floor. Because gold is crazy, you guys. Gold can do some insane stuff. And we're seeing it right now. Look at that move. That's how many? So from the swing high to the swing low, that is a nice, what is that? 3.14% on the price of gold real quick. That's crazy. So yeah, like I said, I'm not going to buy this until there's signs to be buying it, especially with dollar strength coming in today. That could be something that ends out the week kind of thing. So I'm just going to pause on this when looking at gold. So I hope that was helpful to you guys. I know that was not, I'm not taking heroic trades on stream right now or anything like that. It's mostly sitting on my hands today. I do have some trade ideas that I plan on taking. If I take them, you guys will see them inside of Discord. If you're not already in the Discord, you can click the link down below in the description. Also, we're doing a giveaway. I didn't put it in the description, but if you guys haven't joined the giveaway, definitely do so, because we're doing a $100 giveaway. And let me see if I can do this really quick. Just going to grab the link for you because I forgot to add it. Go to, there we go. Sorry, I'm just grabbing the giveaway stuff. So we've got, so all you have to do to enter the giveaway, I'm going to drop it here in the chat. The giveaway is tomorrow. So if you haven't joined already, I'm dropping the link right there in the chat as we speak. Click that link. Enter your email. I'm gonna try and pin that. Can I pin that? Pin message. And is that pinned? Let's see. That should be pinned. Yeah. So we're doing a $100 giveaway. That's pinned. Great. So there's a pinned message in the chat right now. If you would like to enter the giveaway for $100, if you haven't already joined and you would like to, we're doing a $100 giveaway to a random person that enters our email list. We send out trade alerts and ideas and all sorts of good stuff. We share, for example, there will be coverage. I'm almost certain of it. Frank is writing an article or writing something right now about the gold markets, which, by the way, is down under 1750. That's crazy. But anyways, we share alerts and things like that. So to enter the giveaway, all you have to do is join our newsletter and also follow us on Instagram. So our Instagram is A1 Trading _. Follow us on both places, and that's going to give you the best chances of winning tomorrow's $100 giveaway. Again, I pinned the link in the chat. So go to the chat on YouTube here, on your phone or wherever, and just literally click that link into your email. Follow us on Instagram at A1Trading_, and you will have a chance to win that $100. There's actually not that many people in the giveaway so far, so you actually have a decent shot at winning if you enter your email there. So again, we'll be sending out some alerts and some ideas here today, I'm sure, with all this gold movement we're going to be covering. We're going to be busy typing and covering the markets, I'm sure, right after this stream ends. So with that said, you guys, thank you very much for being here. Have a great rest of your day. Trade safe. Be careful out there. And good luck to you guys who enter the giveaway. Again, link is in the chat. So with that said, have a great rest of your day, guys. We'll see you back next time.
I know you were expecting Nick, but my name's Julie and I do the real work around here. I wanted to take a second to thank you guys for watching the show and tell you more about some free content that we offer. One of the things that we offer is a free email newsletter. So if you click the link down below, you can sign up for free market analysis, trading tips, and exclusive offers. Every once in a while, someone here at A1 Trading takes a crazy trade and you'll be the first one to know about it. See you guys next time.